Hey everyone, and welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about a possibly and hopefully upcoming game, which is the Rusty Sword Runelock Island. Now if you remember a few months back, I did a review on a $1 eShop game, yes it's only 99 cents, called the Rusty Sword Vanguard Island. And I actually found out about that game because the developer contacted me, sent me a review code, and asked me if I wouldn't give my thoughts on his game. Well, if any of you want to check out the full review, I'll be linking that down below, but the gist of it was I found a game that I was super interested in. Now, the downside is it lasts only about 30 minutes. However, the developer really had set up this game as sort of a tech demo to see where he was going with a much larger project, which is the one we're talking about today, the Rusty Sword Runelock Island. Now, if I break it down very quickly, what really amazed me about the game is it was a mix of artwork that looked like the Final Fantasy series with a overworld and a dungeon layout that really reminded me of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And being a huge fan of both those series, I found a game that I actually really loved. The only downside, as I've mentioned earlier, there just wasn't enough of it. Well, the reason we're all here today is the developer reached out once again, not sponsored in any way, but he let me know that now he's fully ready to launch the campaign to make the full game, and he did so on Kickstarter. So I thought I would share it with all of you because I know multiple people had commented that they tried the game themselves and they really loved it, and this is a game I really want to see come to fruition. Now, what you've been looking at since the beginning is pretty much the trailer for the new upcoming game Runelock Island. However, in a few seconds, we'll switch over to the Kickstarter page because I want to share with you what the full project is supposed to look like. And you know what? In the end, I'll actually be backing it myself. So for any of you worried out there, not only is this content not sponsored, it's actually going to cost me a little bit of my money, but it's something I have no problem with because in the end, it should be delivering an awesome game. So here we are on the Kickstarter page for the game, and once again, I'll be linking that down below if any of you want to check it out for yourself. Now, don't be confused by the amounts you see here. Since I'm going to be backing this myself, my account is in Canadian dollars. The actual goal for the game is $150,000 American, and so far there's been $1,966 pledged. However, it's only been up there for a couple of days. Now, if ever what I've said so far has interested you, I would say step one, download Vanguard Island. Download the demo version of the game. It's only $1. If you click on the link here, it's available on the Nintendo Switch eShop. However, it's US only the US eShop. Even if you're in Canada, you have to have a US eShop account to be able to download it. If not, you can grab it on Steam, Google Play, the Apple App Store, or itch.io. But don't worry, even though it's on mobile platforms, it no way resembles a mobile game once you get into it. It really looks like a console game. Now, first of all, in the demo version of the game, there was only one dungeon in the whole thing. However, if we're looking at the end plan at what they're aiming for now, is there's supposed to be an 8-dungeon setup with at least 2 towns to visit, and it's going to have an open world format. So imagine something like The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, but fully open world. There won't be a boulder blocking your way that you have to get a power glove. You can go and visit any one of the dungeons in whichever order you want. Obviously, there's going to be a suggested order in the game and probably an easier way of going through them. And as they said here, what is really awesome is there's also 2-player co-op available. Now, in the demo version of the game as well, you only managed to gather one piece of equipment, which was a bomb. However, in the full version of the game, they're looking to have a full set of equipment available. You can see this once again on the Kickstarter page here as well. And what's really interesting is if we bring that over to the dungeons, if you decide to do a dungeon and you don't have the required item for the standard path, there's supposed to be a path available in each dungeon even if you don't have the item. However, it might be a much more difficult path, therefore you might want to back out, go try a different dungeon and come back. It's a really interesting setup for a Zelda-like game. Now, obviously today, we're not going to go over all the information on the Kickstarter page. That's why I linked it down below. You guys can go take a look. But in the end, what I want to put out there is that if you have an interest in top-down, old-school Zelda-like games, definitely take a long, hard look at this game and decide if maybe you want to back it for yourself or at least if it does come out eventually, take a look at it when it does come out. Because let's be honest, we get a lot of companies trying to use the Zelda formula to create a game, but even with a 30-minute demo, what I was super surprised is they managed to give an overall spirit of the Zelda-like formula. So it's not just copying what you're doing, but the world really was super fun to explore, although super small, with a lot of secrets hidden everywhere, and everywhere you turn, you see something new. Now, maybe the last thing I just want to take a look at before we go for today, and I let you go look at the page for yourself and come to a decision, is what are the standard rewards that we're looking at. Now, you can pledge $5, which is just that you'll be getting updates on the game. You're not going to be getting a copy of the game or anything. After that, I think the most interesting one is the $15 donation, because it guarantees you a download code for the final release of the game and also access to the beta. You also have sights and sounds that will add the digital soundtrack exclusive wallpaper. Now, obviously, you can look at all of them. We're not going to go through all of them today, but I do think that they're fairly priced for the rewards that they're offering. So if you are interested in backing this project, take a look at them, pick out whichever one is good for you. And just in case you're wondering where all that money is going, they actually broke it down, which is something that pretty much all Kickstarter projects do right now, but I always love to see that right here. But the $150,000 goal that they're matching, they're looking at 55% going to development, 10% going to creating the physical rewards for the people that have chosen that. They have to pay 10% in taxes. They also have a 10% fee for Amazon and Kickstarter. They put 6.7% in the music, and then 2% for accounting fees and 1.3% for web hosting. So overall, that money is going to the right places, in my opinion. $82,000 for the full development of a game of this quality, because if you play the demo, trust me, it's not one of those cheapo indie games. It's really done with quality and beautiful artwork. Feels fair to me, so it doesn't seem like an overly ambitious project, but one that is really looking at delivering something of quality. So now, as I promised at the beginning of the video, I did back this game myself. I took the $15 pledge, which will give me the download code for the game as well as access to the beta. As long as the developers are okay with it, I would love to cover the beta with you when it comes out. If this project sees the light of day, hopefully it will. Hopefully you did like this different type of content today, but I think it's important that when we find a great game like this, I'm not a huge Kickstarter guy. I've only backed like maybe a dozen projects over like the last 5 years. But when I see one that really hits me hard like this one, I really want to see it through. Now in the comments down below, let me know if you're going to be backing this project as well. And as usual, on the way out, don't forget that if you did like the content, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and click on the notification bell so you know when all my future content comes out. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.